What's going on, guys? The question to ask, and it can be an uncomfortable one. Oh, got that light coming up in there. We'll have to stick with it, guys, on Facebook, just because if I turn it off, it'll get way dark. You know what? Maybe coming from the other direction could be decent. I don't want to knock you guys over. Well, that's actually okay. I thought it'd be brighter, but whatever. That works. Alright, guys, the question to ask, and it's going to be a really tough one for a lot of bloggers because it's going to stir up, that. It'll stir up you slamming, being slammed to the laptop. Sorry, guys. It's how committed are you to blogging? How committed are you to blogging? And it's going to be a tough question for most bloggers, because they struggle almost solely because they're not committed to blogging. And what do I mean by commitment? I mean first off, learning how to blog successfully from a pro. Most bloggers don't do that. It's crazy, guys, but they wing it. They give it a shot. They half rear end it. I'd use another term, but I don't know if I would be flagged for that. They just think it's something that you do in your spare time. Yeah, I just did some blogging. Let me do some blogging. A casual, mindless, nothingness endeavor. Like, it's just, there's no commitment. Think of this, guys. Think of how insane it is for most bloggers. And by insane, I'm not saying that in pejorative, condemning, let's just say insulting fashion. I don't mean that as an insult, but it's not sane. You're not thinking logically and sanely and clearly. Most bloggers never go right to a professional, buy their courses, buy their ebooks, read their posts, study how to succeed from a professional, and do only that. And that shows how most bloggers lack commitment at the starting point. They wing it. They treat it casually. They try to figure it out on their own. Guys, you can't succeed in anything if you're winging it. It shows how little you care. And this is a big wake-up call. This video could be a big wake-up call. You got to ask yourself that question. You have so many bloggers that are having such a difficult time. They're struggling terribly because they haven't asked themselves this question and waited for the answer to say, I'm not committed at all. Then you have bloggers who did take the committed, serious step, taking it seriously, of learning from professionals, but even though they learn from pros and they know what to do, they don't do it. Or they blog, or they do blogging work. I'm saying blog, but either creating or connecting or whatever it is. Let's just say do blogging work for like 20 minutes a day, or for 2 hours a day, for 3 or 4 days, and then they don't do any blogging work for the next 2 weeks. Now, if you're really busy, guys, with a full-time job, of course, you're not going to be able to sit there and spend 5 hours a night, unless you're particularly driven, unless you want freedom more than anything, more than you want freedom more than you breathe, or something on that level. I get it. It could just be 1 hour a night if you're working a really busy 9-to-5 job and you're raising the kids, and it's like, gosh, I just got to get that hour. But it has to be an hour a night. It has to be a half hour. You got to do it, guys. Because you have to think of this. Why are you engineering your life in such a way where time is so scarce and you have no free time? Because you've made unwise choices. Ouch, but true. You could do anything and still have freedom. Like, if you built up your blog, you wouldn't have to work a job where you feel like your time stopped. Like, this is it, guys. You have to start looking at yourself and saying, I am not a victim of this world. I'm not committed to blogging. So if you're super busy, maybe a half hour, an hour a night, as far as working 9-to-5 and raising a family, or 10, 12 hours a day, a full-time job, but you still have to commit. That's the point. You still have to put in the time. Like, how hungry are you? Do you want freedom? Then you'll do it. And this always comes down to values, guys. Most human beings value fear, comfort, distraction, victimization over love, freedom, abundance, doing whatever they want to do with their life. They just do. And you could see by all the choices they make and how they choose to victimize yourself, how they choose to victimize themselves. And this commitment, guys, it's fantasy land, it's la la land, it's fairy tale. Bloggers show up, put in a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour today, and then they won't blog again or do anything with their blog for the next week. It's never going to work. And then bloggers will say, but I've been doing this for 3 weeks. That's another sign of a lack of commitment. You're expecting within 3 weeks to be highly successful, not even to go pro, but to be pulling in all types of money and hundreds of thousands of visitors, 10,000. No, you're not committed. You're thinking in terms of 3 weeks. You're still thinking like an employee instead of thinking like an entrepreneur who builds a business asset patiently for a long time. And believe you me, it takes a long time and patient work. But that long time is an investment in freedom. How do you really commit to blogging, guys? First off, you have to ask this question. It could be a tough answer to the ego. It could sting, but you have to wait for the honest answer and say, I'm not committed. I'm putting in 5 minutes here, an hour there. I'm not putting in, if I'm doing this full time, 4 to 6 to 8 hours a day of doing only what successful bloggers do. I haven't committed and I haven't learned how to blog successfully from a pro. Why do you think I offer the courses? Yeah. Why do you think I offer the ebooks? Yeah. To build a business? Yeah. On one level. Predominantly, I offer that to guide you to succeed. So it's there. If you want to get featured on famous blogs, I've done it. I've been featured on Forbes and Entrepreneur, and they've since removed the links, but I still was featured, so it stays up. Fox News, Richard Branson's Virgin blog, Huffington Post, NeilPatel.com, Smart Blogger, blog. I've been featured there, so I created the course and say, this is how I did it, this is how you do it, this is how other bloggers are doing, so buy it and do it. Boom, commitment. Same with how to become a pro blogger in 5 steps, and then all of my ebooks. It's the commitment is like, how serious are you? Yeah, I want freedom. Boom. Invest the money, buy it, do it, take the course. I mean, patiently. It's not like something you plow through, but you do it patiently and mindfully, but you just got to do what successful bloggers do, and they commit 100%. They are all in. I remember a blogger, was it Syed Balki, I think? WP beginner. He's made tens of millions of dollars through blogging, or he's netted tens of millions of dollars of sales at least. So he's made 7 figures, 8 figures through blogging. I'm pretty sure it's 8. Long and the short of it, millionaire many times over. And he said it is impossible, the story of his blogging life, I just remember him saying it once, it is impossible to beat someone who will never quit. And that sums it up. He committed, he was all in, he struggled, he had a tough time, but he just said, I'm doing this. And it's that type of commitment that shows that he valued freedom and love and the joy of helping people. And it's reflected through his blog. I don't know if he still owns it at WP Beginner, but just how in-depth, detailed, thorough, mindful, thoughtful. He was all in, guys. There was no confusing the fact that he was all in. And you have to be all in. You have to value freedom more than comfort. You have to value love more than fear. And there's no way around that. When you realize that committing, being all in, yeah, you're going to face your fears and leave your comfort zone, but that's an investment in freedom so you could do what you want to do, when you want to do it, whenever you want to do it, wherever you want to do it. That clicks. You're like, I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to learn from a pro how to succeed, then just do it and put in, if you're working a full-time job, an hour a night, 2 hours a night, on the weekends, 4 to 5 hours each Saturday, and then Sunday. You'll do it because you're like, I want the freedom. I want to be able to generate passive income and circle the globe, spend time with my family. Whatever it is, once you got that in your mind and you value that, you're in. It's why 6:30 here on a weeknight, and I've been doing this for 16 years, and I'm still in because I love circling the globe. I mean, where my wife and I are now in rural New Jersey, beautiful home with the house sitting where we're going next and our next international trip, like all these phenomenal, it's freedom. That's why I'm in. And you, my friends, will need to be as all in, and you will once you value freedom. Because once you value the freedom, then you block, then you commit, and you put in hours a day. You learn from a pro how to do it successfully, you follow their advice, and then you put in the hours from a calm, trusting, genuine intent. All right, dudes, I will see you later. I think I'll upload this to YouTube. Later, guys. Stop by bloggingparadise.com, of course, where I sell blogging courses and ebooks for your guidance and offer blog